when I was a kid, I had such a big butt because I danced.
Yeah.
And I knew it was muscle, you know, like
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I was like, proud of my butt. And I was like, where's my kids' butts at?
Yeah, well, where's my butt? Are you listening to our podcast? Thank you for joining
about butts, you
us
guys.
on the hashtag I Mom So Hard podcast. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe. We appreciate your support. You can also go to imomsohard.com to see where we're going to be on tour. And also, we have merch.
That's right. You can go to imomsohard.com for that.
It's so
also.
cute. It's so cute.
It's really cute. You're going to want to get it.
My fave is the hoodie, of course, which I don't have one yet, and I can't.
I got to get all the stuff.
We're getting all of it.
Okay,
we're getting all of it. We just don't have it yet. Yeah.
Because I'll pay cash money for it.
We will.
But I'd like a discount.
I would like a discount since it's our merch, but
feels like
it feels like the point is we have it. We're excited to share it with you. We feel like it's kind of like a jersey. It's like whenever anybody wears my Mom So Hard t-shirt, it's your favorite sports team, and we're moms and we're all on the same team, right?
That's true.
There we go.
I'm going to look at my phone because no joke, I just texted my husband to say, hey, how's everything going there at the homestead? And he goes, can't talk, cleaning up barf. And I'm like, hey, that's a...
Then you just take a big sigh and you're like, dealer's choice. Is it his? Is it theirs? Is it the dog's? You don't know.
Well, that's a good...
There's a nice window.
What? That's a good question because I just assumed it was one of the kids, but
it could be one of your 4 dogs.
Okay, so this is where I'm at, and I feel guilty because the kid stayed home. The girl one stayed home from school today because she was like, I don't feel well.
Yeah.
She doesn't normally do that, and stuff's going around, so I was like, okay. But she was bebopping around by like 3 or 4. And so I was
forget whenever they try to. Yeah. That's the thing. I did it one time and I was like, it worked. And then I was fine. And my mom was like, you don't seem so sick right now.
Well, Britt goes, I said to him, I go, I think she's fine, actually. I think she was laying it on thick this morning. He goes, well, she threw up. I go, that is her party trick.
Yeah.
She has
just
always
makes herself
done that.
sick.
She gets so upset.
That she barfs.
Or she goes like does this thing with her like abdomen and gets
there's
herself.
a little bit of that can be done.
So I just looked at my text. Guess what? It was her getting sick. Why?
She was upset.
He made her take medicine she didn't want to.
Oh boy.
So I'm like,
good luck.
Yeah, she's going to school tomorrow. Yeah.
Heck yeah. My mom was a teacher, and it had to be data that I was sick. Like there had to be a temperature. And she never stayed home with me. I feel so bad. I don't think she had a choice, but she would just call and check on me. And we lived in a little small town. But like, I never wanted to stay home. It never occurred to me that I could lie to stay home until I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah. Oh, funny.
Yeah. I just never, I was like, what am I going to do here? Like, be by myself all day. If I felt sick, I like to stay home.
They typically don't do that, but I think she just...
Eleanor, very upset, spring break, 2 different. Eleanor started early and she kind of was like running around with me and working a little bit with me.
Yeah.
And then we got into Finn's. There was like a fold over for Easter and that was it. And then Eleanor was back and Finn has 3 or 4 more days. And boy, did he enjoy telling her that.
Yeah, that must feel like an injustice.
Have fun at school, Eleanor. I get to stay up late and watch Failure to Lunch.
What is that?
It's a rom-com with Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh my God, that's what he's watching?
Yes, we really like rom-coms. I'm not doing anything great.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Like, what are our options right now? We watch 4,000 repeats of Modern Family and then bad late 2000s rom-coms.
Man, we're still on the Simpsons thing.
Yeah. Oh, we've watched. Finn's
the longest running show in history. Yeah. So I think we'll never be the 2 shows, honestly, that they always want to make me watch: America's Funniest Videos, AFV, and Simpsons. And I'm like, well, that's 50 combined years, basically.
Yeah,
I'm never going to get to watch what I want. Ever.
Never, ever. Finn went through a huge
Thanks,
Simpsons.
ABC.
Yeah, Simpsons. We're a deep dive of the Simpsons, but at some point I'm like, I just need to see what other humans look like. I can't watch Marge anymore and know that that's my future.
But also, I have not watched The Simpsons with them. I'm going to say this with too many negatives in it. Let me try and say it in a more simpler way. I can't help but laugh every time I watch that. And
of course, it's so funny.
It's like all these Easter eggs from my childhood where I'm like, I didn't remember where I got that from. But that was that. I got it from The Simpsons. Yeah.
Oh, my mom and dad hated The Simpsons. So, of course.
They did? Because they thought it was naughty, right?
Oh, at the very beginning, they thought that Bart was like,
Don't have a cow man.
yeah,
He was
don't have a cow
disrespectful,
man.
Yeah.
Disrespectful, rude, like
Yeah.
irritating. And I was like, yeah, it's us.
Yeah.
Like that's who we are to you. And so like they just were annoyed by it. They didn't hate it for any other reason, but then of course I was like, got a t-shirt that was like, don't have a cow man.
Yeah,
My
well,
parents were
it's so funny
at
'cause-
Hot Topic.
When we watch it, both my husband and I are like, do you remember thinking like or hearing from your parents that this was like really subversive and bad?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if they would have watched. No way they're watching TV with me. They're like, you guys, you watch the black and white knob one
Yeah.
in the,
Yeah.
in the basement, and we'll watch the good TV.
Yeah,
and
they're
watch
watching
Dallas
60
or
Minutes
what-
and I'm feeling like my life is never going to end.
Absolutely. So we didn't ever watch this. So I don't think they watched it and knew, but I watch it and I really love it. And I got to tell you, Mandy, I don't know if Ava and Abby are listening, but you might not have heard this story, but your grandpa looks like Ned Flanders. And when I was like
God.
13,
Oh,
14 years
God.
old, I happened to mention to all 4 of the siblings that their dad really was a dead ringer for Ned Flanders. And at her wedding, he came up to me drunk and screaming that he hated me because he has been called Ned Flanders for 20
Those
years.
nicknames, man.
Yeah, they don't go away. Yeah.
My son, I don't even know if I want to tell this story.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, do you? Throw him under the butt. What? No, what did he do?
It's such an older sibling thing to do.
Oh, okay.
He is now having a hard time pronouncing Eleanor's name. He calls her Elner
On purpose.
on purpose.
Oh, sure.
And he calls her Elner. And she is the most patient. I marvel at my daughter's literal soft heart.
Yes.
Like I relate more to my son, who is an antagonist and a smartass.
She's patient, and you can
She's
see
so
her like
patient.
you can see her like taking the deep breath and
She
like
just will. She just will. And he'll do it a little bit more. And he's like, and I know what he's doing because I did the same thing. He's trying to get her goat a little bit, And so
I don't
he'll be
know
like,
where the-
Elner. And
Yep.
she's like, Finn, can you please just say Eleanor? That is the name. And, it's from my grandmother. So then
Yeah.
I am up in this back bathroom trying to have a moment alone. And I am screaming, Finn, if you call her Elder and it sticks, I swear to God, I will take you out of your private school and you'll go to a shitty public school until you graduate from high
you
school.
bougie mom bitch.
I don't fuck around. Don't want her to be dubbed Elner. Now,
You know
don't
what?
call her that.
God, she's so nice though because
She's so nice.
I can tell you,
this gonna be that?
me,
Is this gonna be
younger
that?
sister would have been like, can't you spell? Like I would have come back at him so hard, and
won't.
she doesn't do that.
And he would crumble. And she doesn't. She doesn't.
But it is so typical older brother. Like it's
Yeah, we older siblings are very, very insecure.
You know how Dash drives his little sister crazy? This doesn't make any sense. He relentlessly calls her Harry Potter.
and
Which
it bugs
is
her. It's the tone. It's the subtext.
it
There's
is.
something
It's
about
so-
it.
I'm like, that's the best character ever. Like,
no,
wait,
but he's like, she's probably thinking like Harry, like hair, or like Potter, like a pot to poop
I
in.
go,
because
he's not
siblings
calling you
are a-holes.
Hagrid. He's calling you a magician.
No,
like the most
I-
powerful magician.
but
She's
then-
like, I don't want him to call me it. And I'm like,
It's
okay.
annoying. I
Yeah,
know.
I don't know where these older brothers get it, but I swear to God, since cavemen, older brothers have been doing this shit, been throwing rocks at their younger sisters, younger siblings. It's
and
like,
just trying to get a rise out of them.
yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, honestly, I still kind of do it to my siblings, and we're grown as adults.
Yeah, you do. You're identifying with the oppressor right now because she loves being older sibling. It's so
I just call everybody on their shits. And it's like, if anybody did that to me, I would literally crumble. I would die in a hole. But Ellen was a better person than me. And he just is like doing that thing. He's just trying to always like get her like revved up. And she's so nice about it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, fire back, little one. Like
she's not. She's so like even keel, calm, and like her.
until she's not. Until
Well,
she's not.
I have not seen this. I've heard this.
When she
exist,
told him to
but
go die in a hole one time.
Oh, that's- yeah,
I told you
no.
that. Or like she'll
I gotta believe she was pushed.
she was, and she will like haul off and like she's punched him a couple times. And I'm like, you can't go from not saying anything to like a left hook. Like it doesn't
my God, Chris, I swear to God. Just yesterday, I had a very public conversation with my children where I was trying to like talk through my teeth angrily at Delilah, but it was evidently loud because a lot of people were doing the like, yeah,
They're like, are you
look at
Jen
this side.
from my mom's side?
Because I go, I swear to God,
I know, that's my voice.
if you hit your brother one more time, you are in so much trouble.
I know.
And this is what I like to say. I go, I will ruin your life.
I know. That's what I say.
will ruin your life.
Everything that you know that's fun will go away because I can make it go away.
Well, I understand that you're younger, but you don't get to hit people just because you're mad.
That's what I told Eleanor. And I said, you're in trouble and you lose all your screens and TV time because you lost your cool. And I get it. He's a brat. And he antagonizes you, but you don't get a punch just because you're frustrated. She goes from like sweet to like an Irish, like, I'm gonna why.
Because let me tell you, Eleanor, I know this from being a younger sibling, that as soon as you do, you lose. You were in the right. And now you're just
screwed.
Wrong. Yeah.
You're just wrong. And you're just as in much trouble as he is.
Totally.
And he would have been in so much more trouble. And we would have been sitting together watching Failure Launch. But now.
Sorry about that punishment. I don't know what you did for that, but okay.
And now he's the one sitting next to me. So I'm being punished.
Oh my God. Well,
I mean, listen. I've spent a lot of time with my kids because they've been on spring break and we just got back and we're all doing great.
Well, I have to say, when she came over the other day, Dashiell and Delilah were both like, I can tell she's really excited.
About?
Yeah, she was so happy and so like
I know.
vibrating.
I don't
She
even
was
know how
so-
to.
She has this super amazing, and so many of you have messaged us about this, and we have to talk about it because it would be insane not to
I
talk
know,
about
and
it.
it's the weirdest thing, and I'm just going to say it fast because I feel like if I just say it, then
No, because I want you to tell the whole story because it's hilarious. So many parts of it.
in COVID, both kids had an opportunity to audition for a thing.
Hollywood dreams of a lifetime.
And both got it. They both got these big things 8 days apart from each other. And kind of the only thing that they had really, I mean,
They've done like commercials and things like that.
But still not at the, it's anyway.
Kristen's like, hey,
Let me tell you what
Guess-
20 years looks like
Yeah.
without a nibble.
guess what Finn got to audition for? CBS show.
Yeah. Well, he's not doing a student film at USC where they misspell your name.
She was actually very excited. And so then when they ended up getting both of these exciting things, she was like,
I know, because I didn't know what to even, I'd not handled it with them before. I had handled it with myself.
it's
So
a surreal thing.
it's a
too.
very surreal thing. So Eleanor's story goes like this. There's this part that comes through, and when you read the breakdown, which is the audition notice of how the character is explained, it was Eleanor.
It said everything but Eleanor Sweeney.
It literally,
basically.
the name of the character is Kathy, but the description of this kid down to they wanted her to look like, have a little bit of an old soul quality, but also precocious.
Absolutely her.
Like she's going to be a dumpster diver. She's going to have a buddy. She's like a duo with this, with another boy named Bailey, and he's lovely. And they've become like this little duo that they're like 85-year-olds in these like 8-year-old bodies, right? And so Eleanor gets this audition, and it says at the top, directed by Jerry Seinfeld. And again, me being who I am, I go, Eleanor, this is so neat.
Is that a common name? I'm going to IMDb this because that feels like, are there multiple?
Eleanor goes, I don't know. Yeah, she goes, I don't know. And I go,
That makes sense though.
yeah. So literally, she goes, is that the Bee? And I go, the Bee.
Yep. Yeah.
From the Bee movie?
Bee movie. Boy,
It
your
is.
mom really has you guys watch some
It's
shit.
really
huh?
shitty TV.
Sorry, Jerry. I think, you know what? You're great in it, but overall.
We've watched a lot of animated and in
More like a
competition.
B minus movie,
Yeah, like a
but
B minus
yeah.
movie. We're in COVID. We've seen them all. Like, so we're.
Trust me, if you want to ask anybody who's seen a lot of kid movies how they stack up, you ask a mom.
You
because
ask a mom. We've seen them all. We've sat through them all.
we've
Sometimes
seen
2
them
or 3
all
times.
1,000 times.
Yeah, and some of them that aren't great. I have seen what's the one with that Finn was in love with? That's the Asian Mulan 1 and 2, and I think
God.
there's a 3.
There's whatever, it's Unwind or something with the pants that run around with the dead dad. I can't. I'm starting to like it. I am. I am.
Oh my God, that one was
Sometimes
rough.
I suggest it. I'm like,
I can't.
it's got good music. I don't know.
There's just some that I got one in me and that's it. But there's the other ones that are great that I've seen. I mean, I've seen Toy Story 3 so many times, it's embarrassing. I know who the background animated characters are.
We've seen like is it the Mitchells versus the Machines?
Yes.
That I love.
That one's great.
The one with the kids with the
Cloudy with
bad
a Chance
parents.
of Meatballs. We've seen that a bunch of times.
I don't even know what they're all
We've seen
called.
the Lorax. I mean, I'm not even getting to Pixar. Pixar, just assume we've seen them all
I'm
50
telling you,
times.
we've seen them so many times. My son can tell you who the key grip is on.
That's us too.
Okay,
Hence why we're watching Failure to Launch. We gotta widen our net.
You, Jenny,
Hey, Kristen.
you know what I'm excited to talk about? We're going to talk about AG1.
Right.
Listen, I am very excited about AG1 because I do feel like it's a real step in the right direction towards self-care. And I first gave AG1 a try because I just felt like my digestion wasn't where it needed to be. I didn't feel like I had enough energy in the day. I certainly know I wasn't doing all I could with my nutrition. And so I found AG1 daily and I have felt a noticeable difference. I felt it in my mood, in my skin, in my sleep. I think it's just because I'm altogether healthier because of it.
Oh, 100%. Vitamin C and zinc are so important to your immune health. And I've been taking it. My family has been hella sick over the last couple of weeks, like the worst cough ever. Both my daughter, my son, my husband, and I'm not saying nothing for nothing, but so far, knock on wood, I haven't gotten it. And I think my AG1 is helping.
It supports immune health. That's right. So I know that it's a tough time when everybody's not feeling good, but man, AG1 sort of feels like you're doing the right thing for your body. And that's because AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health.
If there's one product that we want to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. And that's why we're excited to welcome them as a new partner on our show. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/mom. That's drinkag1.com/mom. Check it out. We take it on the road with us.
So we get this notice. Eleanor does this really cute audition, and I remember thinking to myself, "There's nobody else that would do this the way she can do this." You know, she does that thing where she talks out of the side of her mouth, and she's real, but she's not. She's got a more sweet personality, and I worry that her, she's a little shy, and so I don't ever. But she loves it, and she loves. The idea of being a comedian is very important to her.
I get that about her. Like, she loves to do characters.
Yes, but she's not like.
No, she's.
I
get her so much because I'm shy too.
She's like you more than she's like me.
So got my DNA. I understand that. Like, she partly she does the bit because she is so self-aware.
Yeah,
that like if she plays a little off of herself, then it feels like maybe a little bit. But it's a great bit.
Yeah.
Like it's
she like when she talks like this, it gives her confidence to say what she wants to say.
Yeah.
But when she talks like when she's really nervous or something, she like shows both lines of her teeth and she like
kind of giggles
and she's sweet. So anyway, she does this audition. She gets to play a character. It's like a funny rough and tumble, and she just comes out of nowhere. And she's like, great.
And the great thing was she's so nonplussed by it being Jerry Seinfeld.
No idea.
That she's on a camping trip.
Oh, God, that's right. Jeez.
She has to come home a couple hours early from like a Girl Scout trip.
She is on a, in a camper in the middle of the forest with no cell reception. That was what the parents told us.
Yeah.
It was like a joke. They were like, hey, whatever you do, don't have anything important today because we're going to be in a camper in the middle of the mountains and the girls are going to be playing in mud. So whatever you do,
Yeah.
do not have Jerry Seinfeld
And
call you.
We're going to be home at 5:30.
We're gonna be at
so don't
5:30.
have an audition at 6.
Don't have anything that you need. And they call us and they're like, could she Zoom with Jerry Seinfeld?
Kristen was like, hello.
Hello.
What? There seems to be some
Hi.
static on the
Is
line.
Is this on? Hi, Jerry. I'm the mother. I'll just talk to you until she gets home. No, she goes. And so I call the mom.
Jerry, I can't even say that. I can't work. Make a horrible joke about you and producers and directors, but I didn't want
Like, I would be
You know what?
further
That's
in my
me.
career.
Sorry.
I would have
I
been
know.
further
Yeah.
in my
Wow.
career. So they called and they were not. He was not pressing. It was just we knew that what that meant was that they liked her.
Yeah.
And he wanted to have a chat with her, and I really appreciated that. It wasn't producers. It wasn't assistants. It was him. He knew he was going to be directing her, and he wanted to talk to her, and I thought that was great. So
Yeah.
I sent a text to this family. I knew they were. It was supposed to be when they were home, and I was like, "Look, don't do anything special. But you said you were going to be back around this time. She has this thing that she has to get on a Zoom for. If you can make it work, that'd be great." So we say yes to 7:00, which is late. So I tell them, I say, "Hey, this is late for her. She's been at a birthday party. I just want you to, I don't want you to treat her like an adult. Like this,
Yeah. We're
Just-
not going to have her miss out on.
the kids' party, but I also don't want her to miss out on this because it's
Yeah.
important to her. But I want you to know she's like 8 and she's been at a birthday party." So she comes in and she's got like mud across her face. Like she is like
Twigs in her hair.
yeah, like literally what's the book, Lord of the Flies? Like she
Yeah.
has just like killed someone for the conch.
She's tied somebody else's shirt around her head.
Yeah, she comes in, she's got like a pelt over her arm and she's like
a handmade quiver.
literally they're
Yeah.
dropping her off in an RV and I'm like, this is my kid. She comes in. She like jumps out and she's like got a raccoon hat on.
We
you
gotta
know?
get an RV.
Yeah. And I go, Eleanor, you've got this person would like to talk to you about that thing you did where you played the girl Kathy. And she's like, all right. And I go, let's at least just clean your face. Did not change her, nothing. She grimy as all get out. And so she gets on this Zoom and I'm in the room with her, obviously, but I'm behind the laptop.
Probably
and I
safe,
hear-
so you weren't like.
I know this is me in the background. I love everything you guys did. I love the show. He goes,
Jerry, even a small part in any next
Jerry,
upcoming project.
Hey, Jerry, what do you?
Just like, how'd my resume get in there?
Yeah, I'm like,
Wait,
put
how'd
it
that
across
get in the
screen.
chat?
That's
What?
weird.
That's a weird
You guys
attachment.
Weird. This is my headshot from 2002. You might recognize it. I heard his voice, and that's our generation, man. So like to hear his voice, and I'm like, what is
It's like Darth Vader's voice. You know
Totally.
it. You
Just
just
like,
know it.
It's the weirdest
like
thing.
in
And he's
your
like,
head.
Eleanor, he's like doing like, and she's talking with him and she's sitting there and he was so nice. They didn't run the scene. They just had a chat. And she goes, he goes, hey, Eleanor, do you know who I am? And he wasn't asking in a gross way. He was like more from like a comedy standpoint.
Do you know why I want to talk to you?
Do you
or
know
what?
like what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I think you're directing a movie. And he's like, I am. And he goes, but do you know what I do for a living? And he goes, do you know who I am? And she goes, nope. And he goes, well, I'm a comedian. I like to make people laugh. And she goes, same. and then he asked such an interesting question. He goes, what's your favorite thing to do? And Eleanor did what Eleanor does. Me, I would have been like, what's your favorite thing to do, Jerry? And then that's my favorite
What
thing.
do you
And then
want me to say?
I'll
I'll
say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I got ideas. I got thoughts. I can maneuver. I can pivot. She like took a beat and she goes, I really like being home with my dogs. And I like when we get to go on dog walks. And he's like, why is that? And she goes, I guess I just feel zen. And he goes, zen is a really important way to feel. And evidently, he's like somebody that's very into meditation. And so very quickly, it was clear that like they had this really sweet demeanor. I felt safe. I thought he felt like he got to know her a little bit. She didn't feel intimidated. There were a lot of people I really appreciated. There was a lot of people on the Zoom and they all blacked out their cameras so that it was just him.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, because those Zooms, we've been on them with like 18
intimidating.
people and you're like, I don't know where to
Absolutely.
put my eyes.
Yeah.
And so then we don't see any humans until we go to set. And then this cast is literally just like every famous person you can imagine.
So the movie's called Unfrosted. And if you go to look it up, it is like even the poster is like, it's all names.
Famous.
And you're like, I know that name. I know. And I'm somebody who knows no one's name.
Yeah.
And it is.
And I know everybody's names. And I'm like, literally the guy working the food line that you can't see is like.
I start crying right now? So then the trailer came out. And so when's the movie come out?
The movie comes out on Netflix on May 3rd.
Okay.
And Eleanor is playing Kathy. And
So, and it's the made up story of Pop-Tarts.
Yes, how the Pop-Tarts came to be.
And so I watched the trailer the very first time I watched it, and I was just so excited because I was like, this isn't going to feel that real to me until I see her, you know?
No, right.
And like,
I didn't think she'd be in the trailer. You never know.
She's got like some major laugh lines in the trailer, and it's still so crazy to me because the one scene is she with Amy
Melissa
Schumer
McCarthy, and then Amy Schumer,
God.
and like I have to say, like it's the most surreal thing. But again,
and also to her, she was like, "Meh, I don't know.
No.
I don't know
she
who these
knew
people
Melissa
are."
McCarthy, and I think she knew who she was because of what did she see that I probably shouldn't have let her see?
Spy, or
Maybe Spy. Definitely not Bridesmaids yet because I censored it for her, but I let her watch it. But like she knew Melissa was funny and she had seen her on stuff. And she didn't know Amy Schumer. She didn't know Max Greenfield. She didn't know Jim Gaffigan. She didn't know any of these people, which is a blessing because that would be really intimidating, right? Or what do you do with that when you're an 8-year-old? I guess you just
that's a party
sort of
I don't
care.
I don't want to go to that party because it's going to be me eating bean dip with my hands.
Yeah, I told
corner
Colin, I said, I think it's better if you go. I probably shouldn't be there. But she had like 2 weeks on set and literally got to do all the most amazing things. She had a stunt double that was her height and was a lovely, like literal stunt person. So they were like dressed the same. Eleanor got to learn how to do a stunt.
Like next year, I'm just going to dye my hair dark. And
I mean,
think I
honestly,
could probably do it.
That's not untrue. She got to do this thing and this is where people are good. We saw the good. They had this one stunt where she jumps out of this thing and she has to go down to one knee. And there were 5 like old timer stuntmen that were doing a safety call. And they were like, literally, if you widened the frame, you would see 5 like grandpas standing around to make sure that she was okay. And she nailed it. And they were like high-fiving her and they were like cheering her. And she just felt so good about herself. And she didn't really even know the scope of anything she was doing. She just was having a ball. Just a blast.
It's hard to like get the scope of it because I saw Colin's footage that he took from his phone.
Yeah.
Is he allowed to say that?
No, I'm not sure he's supposed to do that at all. But I was on the road, and so sometimes he would just send me little spy shots. But he posted it, so that's on him. I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, okay. So, hey, but it doesn't give the movie away.
No,
if anything, I was like, oh, that's what it looked like when she did it. And then when they add all the CGI or the other stuff, then it's
really safe.
It's so safe. And I also know from like whatever, you've been on more sets than me, but whatever set that you're on, that's most everybody's priority is the safety.
Especially when it comes to
if
kids.
It's a kid. Yeah.
Especially
even
when it
like
comes to kids.
other asshole actors will be like, there's a kid here and like very concerned.
It's true. And I felt like everybody was really careful with cussing and being kind. And Eleanor was in heaven. She was in absolute, I've never seen her like, she just was walking from A to B with her head up and like
it's her element.
It's her element. It's a weird thing because she isn't like that she felt so cozy and she, everybody took such care of her. But in particular, I have to just say when we were on the road, Colin was with her on set. And he took pictures of the screen when he wasn't supposed to, so I could see how she was doing because I was just like torn up. I was like, "How is she doing?" And I would see this like hand like move her hair away and sort of like pat her shoulder, and she would look up and smile, and then she'd go like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And so I could see like somebody was caring for her. And I go, "Who is the wardrobe person that's taking such care of Eleanor? Because I want to send some flowers or do something nice." And he goes, "It's Melissa and Melissa McCarthy, and she is." So like a nurturing mama bear.
She's got 2 little girls.
She's got 2 little girls. She's been on sets. She knows what it takes.
Well,
she knows how to say
probably,
things. she knows how to, she just has that nature to her. And
Yeah.
that's, by the way, I've never met anybody with more star quality than her. She walks into a room and the whole room just lifts, like
Yeah.
wants to be funny, wants to be good, wants to like
The energy
she's got
changes.
good, positive
Yeah.
power to her that I was like, oh God, I'm so glad it's you. And I went up to her and I said, I just want you to know that like, it means so much to me that, and she walked away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She walked up and said, I want you to know how much it meant to me to see you taking care of her. And she just was like, Eleanor's great. She's great. And I'm like, what is my life?
I know. Well, we watched something that she was in the other day, and Britt said, my husband said, what is it like to be in a room with her all the time? And I go, well, Kristen said she was so sweet. We met her one time because we knew Ben, her husband, and he's like the nicest guy. And he's the guy who's in most
Bridesmaids.
things that she does who cannot not crack up.
Oh,
But whatever
it's
movie,
the thing I love.
yeah.
And also in Spy
And I
or in
think that's
Heat,
what
he
it
tries
must
to
be.
hit on her and it's so good.
Yes, that's what
Yes.
we were watching.
Oh my God.
Must be like, it must be like that all the time, that you're just like, she's cracking you up like all the time.
She's really joyful and she seems to really enjoy what she's doing. I can say, and I won't say that wasn't how everybody was, but they were good to Eleanor. They were good.
God, I wish this was a Hollywood tell-all podcast.
I would never, but I would
know.
say like, it's not a surprise with anybody. When somebody enjoys what they're doing on any level,
You can
whether
tell.
it's baseline job or the best of jobs, if you're not joyful about it, it just feels like it's wasted time and it's so shitty. It's like you could make a job like being a celebrity in a movie seem like it's hard and shitty. And if that's your energy, then you're never going to be happy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. No, that's so true.
But then there's like security guards or people that are like, below the line on sets and they're happy. And you're like, I want to be like that.
Yeah, well, I do think about this all the time, where to this day I think about this thing where if you won the lottery, like just some crazy amount of money where you'd never have to work again, you wouldn't have to work again. What would you do differently?
Yeah.
Because your
Or
life
what
should
would you do then? Are you saying like, would you?
No,
Oh.
because
Oh.
you should try to be doing the thing that you love
Anyway.
Because like
Yeah.
I would still want to do what we're doing. I would still want to
Yeah.
do this, and I would still want to do comedy, and I would
Yeah.
still want to like make moms laugh if I could.
Yeah.
If there was just like I didn't have to work.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Melissa has just maybe always
She's just that
it's
funny.
in her to.
It's in her to entertain and to, I don't
she
know,
could
man.
Retire. God, she could probably retire, right?
She could totally retire. But
So could Jerry.
oh yeah, and this is Jerry's first directing gig. So he had a lot of pressure on him. And even to his credit, like under pressure, he was kind. And like,
That's-
again,
That says everything about somebody.
you can just be nice to my kid. Like if it's like, just be nice to my kid. If you are also nice to me, then I think you're a doubly great person. You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing and it's hard to explain because you're like, you're close to your kid, obviously, because you want to protect them. But then, you're letting them like do this thing and you feel out of control. And it's a very like bizarre, surreal thing. And you're listening on this thing, through the ear. It's just so strange. But she handled it so well. And it's also, when you see it, it's the most delightful little part for a kid that like
I can't wait to see it.
it's so
honestly. I cannot.
campy and funny, and there was nothing about it that was like scary for her. Literally, she gets to be a dumpster diver kid. It's hilarious.
There is this like, it's what happened with her getting this part. And me saying that isn't to diminish like how talented or funny both she and Finn are, because they're literally came out of the womb just entertaining. They literally are such funny people. They really are. It's just crazy that
It's
they both
crazy.
got these opportunities.
It's nuts.
Because so Dash is like doing this YouTube channel for animation. He's like, Mom, I got 16 follows, and I'm like, yeah, that's what the world is like, So I'll say to him, like, you're going to go to set with Finn and just know, like, this is a big thing. And but also it feels big to him and it feels big to Eleanor. Neither one of them's like, bring me my chai latte.
No.
They're like, they realize that it's like this just fun, crazy experience. And hopefully they get more of them, but like they have this under their belt.
Yes.
And it's otherworldly. It really is.
It really is. It was a gift. It's so neat. I'm proud of her. I see her so proud of herself.
Yeah.
And
she did. They have to learn lines just to audition. There's work to it. So it's not like none of that. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm diminishing any of that. Like it is, but to get the opportunity to do it is like
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kristen and Colin too they're very good about like, they're not like show parents. They're like, hey, if you want to do this.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's like baseball.
But if you're going to do it, you're going to give it 100%. Just like anything. Like Finn, if he does baseball, he's going to, we do piano begrudgingly. Everything that they do, they have to try.
Yeah.
So, because it would be, and I always say like we are not show parents, but they do get opportunities. So we just have to like really measure. We say no to more things than we say yes. We don't sacrifice trips or them having play dates or any of those things, because in the scope of their lives, we want this to feel like some really awesome opportunity, but it doesn't define them, so that if, God forbid, something does change, they're not like stunted as a person. And that's the hardest thing about all this is I don't have any answers. I'm just really trying to go with it as much as I can and just be there and support them in all the ways that they want to do stuff like any other regular mom. But I think
it's like this. Like my husband skied in the East Coast. We didn't ski in Nebraska because it's not around you.
Right.
It's not like a part of life. Like my sister-in-law works at like a ski lodge. Her son skis all the time. Like you're in LA, you kind of get these odd opportunities.
Yes.
And why are you? She's doing something weird with her eyes.
Well, I'm just like I'm so in my head about all of it because I just am threading a needle that I'm not very sure about. But
what do you mean?
Well,
it's an uncommon experience, but this is the only place that's going to happen. Like it's not that uncommon here.
Correct. Yes, I want to make sure that my kids are not weird. That's what I'm really protecting them from.
God, that's what everybody's worried about no matter what they're doing.
And I think Eleanor's weird in the most positive way.
My husband won't let the kids do karate, and I want him to because he thinks it's going to make them weird. I don't know. And I'm like, can they do ninjutsu or like taekwondo or something?
You got to ask yourself why you want them to do karate. Eleanor wants to do fencing.
I love the outfits.
Yeah, that's what Eleanor wants to do is fencing. And I'm like, what? Yeah, fencing.
No, I don't know if it's Wednesday related, but Delilah all of a sudden wants to play the cello.
Oh, is that why? Oh, yeah. Good luck with the cello. I would say no to that.
I mentioned it to a friend who has a spare cello lying around, and she's like, I don't know what to do with it. You can borrow it.
They're so big and they're hard to play. Strings are hard.
But here's where my brain goes. The ukulele didn't work out for her. She didn't like that at all. So maybe we just had the wrong size instrument.
Yeah, she's like, what I need is instead of a very portable, light, easy, friendly 4-string instrument, I need the one that's upright, that weighs more than me, that the strings are like barrels and that just bleed through my fingertips. And that's going to be great.
I don't know.
And everybody loves a good cello at a party.
I kind of always wanted to do the sousaphone just because it was ridiculous. I know my daughter, right? Like I just feel like maybe she's going to want to.
You need to get her what's this?
Accordion?
The accordion.
She's asked for one.
Accordions
I'm not
are hard.
Kidding.
They're hard to play.
I want her to square dance, accordion, anything ridiculous. I'm
square
all
dancing
for.
in PE when I was in
We did
junior
too.
high.
We did too.
I always got stuck with this one guy. I was like, "Can you put some lotion on your hands?" God, is that gross?
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked too much about this. I did not want to talk about this the whole time. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it.
No, it's
weird.
so exciting. You can't not talk about it because it's such like a. And I also feel like this is your opportunity to say like it is an unexpected like fun gift. And
why would I hide it? I'm so proud of her. I've watched the trailer no less than 50 times just to see her little face on there, not any of the.
God, she's so cute on there.
It's cool. It's cool. And it couldn't happen to a nicer kid.
Yes.
And both of my kids are nice kids. Eleanor in particular in this space, it's just fun to see her get a little bit of shine. She's been patient while Finn has had a lot of attention.
Exactly.
And I'm like, you haven't even seen Eleanor yet. Like they're both talented kids, but they're both nice kids. And that's what I'm mostly proud of.
Yeah. And I think too, like in life, like she's not the like
she's not. And she's happy to give the attention. She loves teammating. She's but then we had to have the conversation too. I was like, Eleanor, you never know. I mean, these are weird conversations that feel unfair, but you're like, look, you don't know what it's going to be until it's done.
Yeah.
There can be times where a scene gets cut or a line you say gets cut because they're trying to make it for time, and they're just like, we are going to just celebrate the fact that you are in this trailer and you have this really funny line that will live forever and ever. And if you look at the poster and you zoom in to the bottom left and you look at that girl on the top of that Kellogg's truck, that is Eleanor's booty. And I said, that will live forever.
I think most kids think it's so cool.
It's so cool.
Like my kids are bragging. When Dash went to Finn's thing, he was like, hey, everybody, like at school. He's like he told our new neighbors that moved in, like Finn's his friend. Like it's so exciting.
It is exciting. And I think with Finn, they're in middle school. Like Finn's going to be a 7th grader, or he's a 7th grader, and Eleanor's going to be a 6th grader. So I always say, like, if something shiny is going to happen, this is a good time because you just feel like, no, I don't care who you are. You don't feel like you're your right self yet. So if you got a little bit of something that is considered shiny or cool or a talking point, then let it be. Let it whatever it is that you're into, if it makes you feel good and like that's something you can talk about with other kids, then that's okay, cool.
I remember at the time being very into rocks.
You and your kids are both.
Yes, I wanted to be a paleontologist. My parents got divorced and I developed cystic acne. So enjoy that red carpet, you guys. Because man.
And that's the other thing she does get to go to. Here's what she told me. She gets to go to a premiere, which is very cool.
Oh my God.
She told me she wants to dress as a Pop-Tart. I go, absolutely, maybe. I got to figure.
I'm not.
She goes,
opposed.
I go, Eleanor, you are not going to dress as a Pop-Tart on a red carpet. She goes, it would be funny. It would be really funny. And I go, it would be funny. But no, we're not doing it. Like forever, you're like on the red carpet dressed
I do feel like that's the one time if you get to pull rank as a mom and be like, no, you're going to wear a nice shirt.
Yeah. And now I'm going to be calling you because I'm going to be like, I need what? What does she wear? Palazzo pants is what she wants to wear.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, she wants to wear it. She goes, I just want to feel like me. And I was like, great, you're not dressing like a Pop-Tart, even though that's probably the closest thing.
I get it, man.
She's weird.
Or the Pop-Tart outfit.
So proud of her.
Should we do a mom box?
Sure.
I'm going to level out the universe a little bit here, but I just love this message. It's so sweet. Okay. It's from Melissa K. Okay, so if you listen to one of our earlier, a couple weeks ago, about the grief.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of messages. Thank you for that.
Yes.
It's very sweet. We read them. Again, not great at replying.
Sometimes we're crying. When it's subjects like this and your heart hurts, you're like,
oh my God.
If it says scene and then takes a couple days, it's because we're literally like, I got to figure out a way to talk about this.
I'm going to flag that and get back to it when I'm emotionally ready. Yeah. And also not angry about something else, probably. Okay. So from Melissa K. Hi again. Thanks for today's episode. My mom died of cancer when I was 11 and in the 6th grade. My brother was 7. My parents died in a car accident that he and his brother were also in. He was 13. Our experiences with support after their deaths were very different. My dad struggled. He drank too much and left us alone a lot. He's a long-haul trucker. Kyle's family fought over him and his brother, and they were showered with support. We both still have sadness, especially at the holidays. It's hard to see all the pictures, and especially hard that our kids are missing their grandparents. The only other advice that I could give is to keep bringing the meals. Even 6 months later, a year later, it felt like the support just vanished a couple weeks later, and we were still so sad and broken. Remember those first holidays, the veil, all those happy moments. they need the support. Thanks for sharing how important showing up is. With love from Nebraska.
I love that. That's such a good. My dad said the exact same thing. He said that in the beginning when his dad died, which my dad really struggled with that for so many reasons,
Sure.
but my dad was just heartbroken, and then his mom died right away after. Like they were madly in love, and it happens often where
Yeah,
one
yeah.
dies and the other one dies quickly after. And he said,
I mean, mine will live. My mom was going to live 30 years after my dad.
Well,
She's gonna be like,
I
I'm
don't
going to
think
be to
that they're-
125
I
just
feel
in
like
spite.
the divorce sort of
Sealed
determined
that deal. Yeah,
I think she was like, I'm gonna outrun this in
yeah,
every
I'm gonna
way.
get as far away from this
I'm gonna-
as I can.
just
so there's no
No,
overlap,
there's no overlap
in the
heaven.
afterlife. Yeah,
She's like, you're on the right
I'm gonna
wing.
make sure
I'm in
that
the
guys
left wing.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with you. If I have a message, I'll send a
Yeah.
dove.
But I have heard that, and you forget. Like, there's all this like stuff to do.
And then it goes quiet, and
Yeah.
then you're left on your own. It's such a good note to like not forget that somebody's feeling rough, and to like why not take a meal
Yeah.
in 3 months time? I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna
That's
do.
a good.
It's
and
a good reminder.
Invite them over for your 4th of July dinner and
Yeah.
all those things, because you don't know,
Yeah.
how whether it's hard or not, and also like it's got to be hard when
It
you're
is
like
hard.
solo parenting after that. So it's like because kids give zero shits about grief.
Well, they just don't know how to be
I say that callously.
They're
processing
about
it
somebody
on
else's.
their own. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, Mia, our friend Mia, lost her husband to pancreatic cancer during COVID. And Sophia was, I think she would have been 10 at the time. She was young. And every time I see that girl, I think she's so wonderful and cool and put together. But I can tell there's times like it was her dad's birthday and we were, and there's just stuff that like you said, there's nothing I'm going to do that's going to happy her through that. But I think you're totally right that like literally just being there and having a little forethought that like, oh, I bet this is not an easy time.
Yeah.
Like I bet like, and it is the things like neighborhood gatherings and stuff like that make you feel lonely, or things that are family. I think sometimes, and this is not in comparison, but sometimes I envy people that have family out here. And so you and I have created this wonderful like group of misfits that all get together, but sometimes you're like, oh, I ache just for my family.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that on some level of being the same as grief. Like when you're just like, I just want things to be normal for me, and they aren't.
I have Jeff and Addison here,
Yeah.
and it really has changed my world in such
It
a way.
must feel more like home.
It does.
Yeah.
Like I want it to feel home for them also. I know it's like LA is such a tricky place on so many like different weird levels, but like I have such a different sleep at night where I'm like, I have them. So like if I had
It's
to
a much different feeling.
if I had to like go to the hospital in the middle of the night, they will come over.
Yes.
Like otherwise it would be you. It has
Yeah.
been you,
Yeah.
and not that
just when you were going to give birth, but only 3
Yeah.
times
No,
because it had Braxton Hicks.
I did. And not that it's still wonderful, but there's this ease that you have with family
It's different.
where it's like, I could send my brother the angriest,
Ugliest
shittiest sounding
text.
text, and he'd be like, "Uh-oh, she's really having a hard
Oh,
day."
really? Mine would just send one back.
You just like has
But
this
literally, I could have a
understanding.
fight with him, and then I could say, "Hey, I'm in trouble, and I need help with the kids," and he'd show up.
Yeah.
You know.
That being said, also the other sibling that tied me to a chair and then shoved me down the stairs. So
What did you do?
probably
That's what I
something.
say.
I know I probably came back
As
like
the
a
older, I would
powerhouse,
say,
too, 'cause
what'd you do?
I know.
Were you being lippy? Were you being disrespectful
I
of the
remember
hierarchy?
what I was doing. I was trying to be an opera singer in his room, and he didn't want me in
Annoying.
his room. So yeah, I came
Annoying.
in full costume, and he was like, "I'm going to teach you a lesson." So
You know what?
He did.
I just tied my brother to the chair because I didn't want to have to watch him when my mom went to in-service for teaching. I got in a lot of trouble for that one.
See, older siblings.
I also
Older
used
siblings.
to tape my sister to the top of the vacuum when she was a baby because I thought it.
You taped a baby to a
and
vacuum.
she wasn't a full baby. She was like a 10-month-old baby. She could sit, but I thought it would be so fun. I was thinking to myself, what would be fun? And I was like, to ride the vacuum. We had this old ass Kirby. And so I slapped her on there and then I just taped underneath her. She had clothes on. It wasn't on her skin, but it was underneath
the
her
logic.
arms.
It's
so
the
it was like a
same.
roller coaster, and I was like, she had a blast, and I was like, this seems so fun.
So you
Also,
tried to get under the couch, and she's got like broken ribs.
I did bunk her head a couple times, and I used to do like Cirque du Soleil stuff where I'd like throw her
course.
in there and catch her, and she'd fall
It's
sometimes.
called being a sibling.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God.
My brother and I did circus performers, and one of us
I
would
left
get
her in the
scarred
sun
or-
too
yeah.
long one time. She got a
For sure.
sunburn. I was the worst.
Yeah.
But I make up for it now. I send good presents.
Yeah. So make a casserole and bring it. Invite
Yeah,
them
that's
over
a really
for the
good.
thing.
I'm gonna
beautiful.
learn from that advice, and
It's
I'm gonna
Nebraska
do that.
girl. Thanks,
Nebraska
lady.
girl, thanks for sending that message and sharing those things. It's nice to know that people care enough to share those feelings.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
God,
you.
now I feel things.
God.
Jesus.
Oh boy, get a drink. Okay. I think we
Travis
podcasted.
Kelsey, he's so hot. What?
We podcasted.